Hi, our NGO is called Chelong, and we are focused on protecting the human rights of the indigenous people in Argentina in their search for equality, recognition, and their sacred lands. As an NGO, we knew that even though there were many conflicts in Argentina, there were also many problems we couldn't get involved into because we are non-governmental. So that's why a human rights related topic seemed like the right thing to do. And we started searching, and a word that popped out a lot of times was indigenous. And I mean, all around the world, indigenous people have had their issues because they're not quite accepted by their own countries because they have like different needs from the rest of the population. We started diving into the problem and we found out that actually Argentina is a pretty discriminatory country and that this indigenous problem has been going on since forever, and it's not something that just worsened from a day to another. We saw that indigenous people in Argentina have been fighting for their rights, and they've been searching for equality for quite some time now. But the people of Argentina and their government haven't really been able to deal with it because they're part of the problem as well.
Hello, I'm Alessia, and I will be talking about an article issued by Amnesty International. This article is titled Indigenous People in Argentina. We are strangers in our own country. This article talks about the hard time that indigenous people are having in Argentina, since its people and its leaders are taking advantage of the lack of voice and power the indigenous people have, and they are using that to take their lands and use them for their own benefit, making factories and so. But what they don't see is that indigenous people live off agriculture. So by taking their lands, they take away the agriculture and therefore leaving them in poverty. This is a testimony of an indigenous leader in Argentina. We want to live as human beings. We don't want to be considered as strangers in our own country, poor or useless. We want to live without discrimination. We don't want bloodshed. We just want to reclaim our community. In here, we can see that indeed indigenous people are suffering because they are taking away everything that makes them. And that is basically what Amnesty International says in their article. Thank you.
In this project, I learned that sometimes it's really hard to work with a lot of people because you cannot always agree in everything. But also, when you get to an agreement and everything is working and going like the way you plan and you want it, it's really good and it really helps. So, this project, I learned that if you want to make a really big impact, you need a lot of people and a lot of support, and sometimes that could be frustrating or really hard. Also, I learned in Argentina there's a really lack of equality and equity, and the fact that the government is not helping with that, it's really wrong. I think that everyone should get the chance to have the same rights, even though if you're a native or a citizen, for the way that Argentina sees it. And I learned that for the future, if I want to make a NGO and a bigger impact, I need to go a little bit more by the hand with the laws and the government, because that is a really important thing for you can go forward with the NGO. Thanks.
With this project, I've learned a lot about Argentina. I learned about its geography, its cultural groups. I never knew the Mapuche people existed, so that's something. I've also learned that Argentina is a very troubled country. They have a lot of conflicts in the political, economical, social, and cultural aspects. And I've also have a new perspective because before this project, I never cared about other countries' news or what was happening in them, and now I think it's important. And we've also learned to work as a team. Mm, we learned a lot of teamwork, even though we had our ups and downs, a lot of downs. We managed to work as a team and to create a good project. So yeah.
I learned about teamwork, for example, managing the points we have to do and each one of us doing what we have to do in order to succeed and make a good project. Also about Argentina and how all the its political, social problems are and how they have to fix them in order to have a better country. How their politics are very poorly and its president Mauricio Macri has done some not very good stuff. And yeah.
What I learned in this project was a lot about Argentina's new economic model from Mauricio Macri and how it has affected the entire country, but especially the indigenous people. But I also learned about how the media controls what we see in a way, because the indigenous issues that we found out never really appear in the media, and I believe that they're really important. So yeah, that's something. And also I learned about how I can get to be a great leader if I put my mind into it. And also learned that teamwork is really important for this kind of projects, and that if you don't put your effort since the beginning of the project, it's really gonna be hard to get somewhere, you know. I also learned that I have issues with procrastination and my time schedule. So, yeah, that's something that I can work on. But overall, I do think that we did okay. Like, I do think that our NGO was pretty great.
Creating Chilong was an exciting project. We learned about the history, the political, and economical aspects that Argentina is facing nowadays. First, we wanted to choose minorities and ethnic groups because it's a controversial and important topic. But after research, we discovered it goes beyond that. We learned so much about the ethnic and minorities groups, especially the Mapuche ones, and the discrimination they have endured for centuries. But the positive aspect is that we can take an actual problem and scope a solution that offers an income source, a, a promotion of the NGO, and the actual solution to the problem that has been established. Working with my teammate has been challenging because not everyone puts the same effort, but we always find a way. The only thing that has left me with an unsatisfactory feeling is the fact that we couldn't put this work to the test in the real world. But the important thing is that now we know a little more about the world's problems and how to approach them when they come.